big lightweight title fight between Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko is done, but the venue is still up in the air according to the Bob father, Bob Aaron. Let's talk a little bit about it. We back, Goodfellas Sports TV. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video, and basically he said it's done for April. I know it will be a pay-per-view event if it is in the United States. They have narrowed the venue down to 3 places: Madison Square Garden, Brooklyn, and Saudi Arabia. Now, remember, Ingus Klimov's Lomachenko's manager, and I guess the Boxers Writer Association's multiple-time manager of the year, said that after Mick Conlon got a wide decision versus one of his Russian fighters, that Lomachenko wouldn't be fighting in New York City again due to those cards, right? And I think one of the fears of them fighting in New York City, may it be Brooklyn, may it be Madison Square Garden in Pacific, is because Teofimo Lopez is from Brooklyn, all right? I don't think they want to really go against the hometown kid. All the push that Lomachenko gets, you would think it'd be more like he the house fighter, but Teofimo Lopez has talked the talk and walked the walk, and I think it'll be a magical night. I think a lot of Brooklyn people, I think a lot of hardcore fans and casual fans are getting behind Teofimo Lopez is because Bob Arum is pushing a foreign guy on to a lot of American boxing fans. Really, he's trying to push him onto the white casual boxing fans to bring him here. And a lot of people in the boxing community like myself don't really like that. So they're going to gravitate towards anybody Lomachenko fight. Had it been Comey that got the win over Teo, a lot of people would be going for Teo. But you got to remember, when you got to separate yourself from being a fan and being logical when you're talking about these fights. But I also do think Teofimo Lopez got a good chance. I see the improvement. He had great sparring with Ivan Barashnik, and I believe Gamboa was in that camp with them as well too. So that must have been a great camp because Gamboa really survived versus Tank, despite whatever the leg injury was, a micro strain, a complete rupture of the Achilles, or whatever it was. He was in good shape, and you got to ask yourself, who really going to take that punishment from Tank at this level? And there's some guys that can take it, because I've seen people take Julian Jackson punishment. I've seen people take Mike Tyson punishment. I've seen Tyson Fury, Bermane Stiverne, the first fight, take Deontay Wilder punishment. Excuse me. And I've seen Nonito Donaire take some punishment from Inouye. So, you know, it's always an answer, all right, to a power puncher. But like I said before, I don't know if they sweeten the pot for Lomachenko for him to consider the fight in New York City, or is Saudi Arabia being thrown in there because that's an alternative to what Lomachenko want to do. Some people say it'll do good in Vegas because Teo trained there. Some people think it'll do good in Southern California, but Lomachenko hasn't done great numbers in Southern California. Some people say it might do good in Texas. I don't know where else they could possibly have a fight at, but I think it's one of the most anticipated pay-per-views. And I think Lomachenko probably would consider going over to Saudi Arabia because his manager came out and said they don't want to do Lomachenko in New York. Now, he could be doing that to get more money out of Bob Arum, or he could be dead serious about it, or Lomachenko say it doesn't matter, I'm going to beat him in New York, I'll beat him in Saudi Arabia, shit, I'll beat him in Antarctica. Maybe he that confident. But he said the latest it going to happen is May. All right, and that will be in May. If it's in May, that means it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. But Saudi Arabia is trying to be a big puller, a big player in boxing. All right, they have been on fights before. They've been trying to get Pacquiao or Amir Khan over there for years, and I hear that's a possibility that Amir Khan might be a front runner to fight Pacquiao next. I know they paid Amir Khan to go over there versus Billy Dibbs. I don't hear Khan crying about the money, so him and Billy Dibbs must have been paid. Obviously, they had AJ and Anthony Joshua, to be exact, and Andy Ruiz Jr. over there. Obviously, Floyd said he was over there discussing doing a Manny Pacquiao exhibition. All right, and you had a lot of a lot of offers through the years, and Bob Arum said he never believed in taking Pacquiao over to the Middle East because they never had the money. They never showed proof of funds. And he wasn't fronting the bill. And Bob ain't fronting the bill for nobody. They just lost a purse bid to a Chinese company for Beterbia and his, I think, Chinese mandatory. So Bob Arum ain't really dropping the bag on nobody. I think they lost the purse bid. They bid 1.3 and the Chinese company bid 1.9. And it's been talked that Beterbia has refused to go over to China. Don't know too much about that, but don't think a lot of people interested in that anyway. But keep it moving. I mean, it's a good fight. You know what I'm saying? If it's in New York City, I might pull up. You know, I've been to Madison Square Garden. I've been to the Barclays Center. I don't go to fights to cover fights. I go to fights to enjoy fights. And that's what it is, man. But at the same time, Teofimo Lopez seemed to have a mindset to go do what people think is impossible, and not only beat Lomachenko, but look impressive in stopping him. The question remains, if he does beat Lomachenko, how much credit does he get? Is it going to be, okay, let's discredit Teofimo Lopez like some boxing fans do? Loma was old. Loma best weight at 30. He was too small, or whatever situation may be. In boxing today, and since social media has really took over, it's always about one side discredit somebody. Nobody can just get the praise that they deserve. And we all guilty of discrediting somebody. Get the hate out your chest. If Lopez do it, he do it. In spectacular fashion. If he even win by an inch, you know, a quarter of an inch, that's impressive to me. If he even in it for them to rob Lomachenko, that's impressive for somebody with, 15 fights? You know, he just moved up versus Mayoshi Tanaki in comp, and then he stopped Richard Comey in 2 rounds. That's impressive. But I don't think people, they have a hard time giving guys credit. And it was like that during Ali. They didn't want to give Ali credit until he was shaken and old and broke up. Excuse me. But with Lomachenko, man, we'll see. We'll see how much pull he got at the quote-unquote A side. Me personally, I like to see them do it either in New York or Brooklyn. I mean, Madison Square Garden or the Barclays. Now, Bob Arum don't do too many fights at the Barclays Center. That's predominantly an Al Heyman venue. The Barclays Center and PBC, they got some type of deal. But things could switch up, even though the Barclays Center president said they want to continue to do work with Premier Boxing Champions, because the Barclays Center was sold to, I think his name is Joseph Tsai. So he bought the Barclays Center and he bought the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets came out, the Barclays president came out and said they still want to do work with PBC. But with Joseph Tsai being there, it might be a new money line or a new pipeline for Bob Arum to do so. Now, you're probably asking, what's the difference between Madison Square Garden and the Barclays Center? Well, Madison Square Garden is by far bigger, okay? Penn Station is like right on next to it, under it. It's in the heart of Manhattan, or right by Times Square, Manhattan. It has a theater room for smaller events. It holds around 10,000. I've been in there. It has a big room that holds, I think, over 20,000. Okay, but it's a different type of crowd. The Manhattan crowd seems to be more uppity. Okay, the Barclays Center, it holds around 15,000 for a fight. It's not the monumental, beautiful piece of art that Madison Square Garden is. I'll tell you that right now. But it got a different feel. Brooklyn, even though they gentrified Brooklyn, it's a different feel when you get off the train in Times Square, Manhattan. Then we got off the train in Brooklyn. You see the bridge, you get off the train, you look up, it's all this different stuff. It's definitely a different type of atmosphere. And I enjoy going to fights in Brooklyn more. You know what I'm saying? It got energy. It's like a club atmosphere. You know, it's tight. You know, and Teofimo Lopez from Brooklyn. So a lot of Brooklynites going to come out, especially if it's in the Barclays Center. You know, where would I prefer the fight be? If I were to go, obviously I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. Okay, no offense to them. But I would prefer the fight to be at the Barclays Center, to be honest. I do think Madison Square Garden is a great venue, but change it up, you know. Lomachenko, he fought in the Madison Square Garden theater room, the big room versus Naraz, theater versus Pedraza. Let's open it up. Go to the Barclays Center. You know? And I think Teofimo Lopez will be extra motivated not to get embarrassed in front of his people. You know, and a lot of people gonna come out, man. People gonna come out regardless, MSG or Barclays Center. That might be the event of the year. And to be honest, people gonna say, "Oh, you top rank, you love top rank." Nobody paid me. I just call it how I see it. But I'm looking forward to Teofimo Lopez more than Fury and Deontay Wilder. 2. First fight was garbage in my opinion to the 12th round. I'm looking forward to this fight. The little guys take precedent. And to be honest, I really don't have a winner yet. At one point, I thought Lomachenko would destroy the kid, but the kid is getting better. His dad know what he's doing in the corner. They got great game plans. So I'm hoping it's at either the MasterCard or the Barclays Center. I prefer the Barclays Center, but it really don't matter. Let me know what you guys think. I linked the article link in the description from Boxing Scene. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email if you got business, question, quality, sponsorship, or video requests. Keep sharing the video. A little bit under the weather, but I got a few more videos that I'm done. Happy New Year to all the brothers out there. And New Year's Eve, don't drink and drive. If you ain't got money for a Lyft or Uber or your man don't want to drive, just stay in the crib, call the little thoughts up and do it that way. But hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Shout out to Gary Benson for the donation. You want to make a donation, just share the video with the link in the description. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. We gone.